All right, we can also see Nikki Gitonga there. He's on standby, ready to give us an update. We're informed that houses have been demolished this morning in Kwale County. As to why this has happened, and of course, what are the options for the residents there now who don't have their homes? Let's bring in Nikki. Nikki, good morning. Sad morning, nevertheless, for residents there, some of whom have lost their homes in this demolition exercise. Tell us why this happened.
Well, thank you, Waiga. We are getting you live from Msikiti Nuru here in Ukunda, Kwale County. As we have just said, it's not a good morning to us. It's a sad morning to some of the locals here after their houses were brought down by someone who is believed to be an Ugandan who claims to have ownership of this said piece of land. Over 5 houses have been brought down by the said person after getting a court order. Maybe my cameraman can just show what the demolition, how it took place. And these are some of the remains of the houses that were brought down by the said Ugandan citizen who is believed to have married someone from this place after the lady who died. Now the Ugandan now claims the ownership of this said piece of land. The residents here say that they were not issued with any notice concerning the demolition, and some of their properties actually have gone into waste after the exercise is believed to have been carried out by the police. And these are some of the things that are the torrents and some of the things that have happened. And maybe I can just get some of the views from the locals here concerning the demolition and what is their take, whether they have been affected in a way. Pengine naweza anza kwa majina tu, niongee tu na mmoja wa kazi na usiongee mbaya. Ukiongea mbaya nitakukata.
Mimi naitwa Omar Saidi kutoka mkazi hapa Ukunda, na tuna imani na huyu mtu kuishi naye kwa sababu alitoka mji ambao tumjui wala ni nchi gani. Amekuja hapa, amevunja nyumba za watu kimadharau, na anasema pia kutuua atatuua.
Okay, pengine tupate maoni ya mkazi. Kulitokea nini hasa?
Ongea. Mimi naitwa Nzai. Huyu ni mtaa wetu. Huyu mzee sasa tumjui. Alikuja tu akaomba plot akapewa. Baada ya kupewa ametudhulumu, ametuvunjia nyumba yetu. Wakubwa wamekuja baada ya nyumba yetu kuvunjwa. Hao kama ni wakubwa wangetusaidia tangu zamani. Tumewashangaa kama wakubwa wetu, viongozi wetu ambao kwa mbele wamekuja kuchelewa. Wametutoa imani sana wakubwa hao. Nyumba yetu imevunjwa, hatujui tutalala wapi. Tutalala nje sisi, tuna uchungu.
Tena mambo ya wakubwa sasa tunadili wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Wamezoea nyumba yetu wameharibu, tutafanya nini sisi? Na ni mtu ambaye tumjue ametoka wapi. Tumechoka.
Wahiga, you can that's what you can get from the locals here. They are really heated, very furious concerning their houses being demolished. I think we cannot proceed on because it's a heated debate to the locals here, and the issues to do with land in Kwale seems to be on a notch higher because some of the lands in Kwale have been grabbed, and seems the leaders are mum concerning the same thing. Back to you, Waiga. We'll be back to you when you want to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And you certainly can understand why temperatures are raised there. Residents who no longer know where they will spend the night tonight. And we certainly hope that the leaders will be able to take a look at that and the law intervene where necessary. Meanwhile, political leaders from Embu have criticized sections of politicians from Rift Valley who called for the resignation of Health Cabinet Secretary Cicely Kariuki over the suspension of the Kenyatta National Hospital head Lily Koros. Koros was sent on compulsory leave on Friday following a horror patient mix-up that saw the wrong patient undergo head surgery at the hospital. Speaking in Kianjo Koma, Manyata sub-county during a Thanksgiving service for Gaturi MCA Paul Mushangi, the Embu leaders led by Senator Njeru Nduiga said it was hypocritical for the Rift Valley leaders to purport to defend perceived shortfalls on the part of Koros while failing to appreciate the problems facing the institution.
Accountability. Kama you are head of an institution na mambo iharibike huko, the buck stops there, and we support what the CS has done. CS has not sacked anybody. She just said you go and leave while we investigate what has happened here. And as Kenyans, we want to know what happened. That's our national hospital. It's our national referral hospital. We want to know. And we want to desist as Kenyans from the habit of all the time, mutu ya kwetu, mutu ya kwetu. Sasa, if a fellow you are very there is not right, it's not right. And period, that's it. and other Kenyans need to be served by Kenyans, not by villagers. So we want to say if Koros was not wrong, she'll get back her job. But investigations must be done everywhere and all over, including health services in Embu here.
Now, the High Court in Kabarnet has upheld the election of Baringo North Member of Parliament William Cheptumo. While delivering this judgment, Judge Edward Mureithi said that the petitioner did not challenge the results of the election process. He said the irregularities presented in court did not affect the final result. The court ordered Cheptumo's opponent, Joseph Makilap, who filed the petition, to pay costs of 4 million Kenya shillings. Well, members of parliament now say that they will fight for the independence of parliament in the wake of concerns over apparent manipulation and interference by the executive and other arms of government. Stephen Leto now brings us that report from Mombasa, where legislators now are on day 2 of their first retreat since the August 8th election.
The 12th Parliament is just 8 months old, and already there are concerns that the independence of the House is being eroded through interference by the arms of government, including the executive and political parties. As the MPs retreated to Mombasa to deliberate on the legislative roles, these concerns took center stage.
Blind pursuit of party position should not blur our bottom line in terms of discharging the constitutional responsibilities in Parliament. This is the ultimate challenge to political party leadership and members in this Parliament. We must think and act beyond our political party interests to guarantee the electorate the governance they deserve.
Parliament was petitioned under Article 251 of the Constitution relating to the removal of holders of independent officers and constitutional commissions. When the House was exercising its mandate as required by the Constitution, the judiciary issued injunctions against the proceedings of a committee of the House.
But there must be another third arm of government that provides checks and balances to these two other arms of government, and that is the judiciary. And we must respect the judiciary. We have no option. We have to respect the judiciary and live with it.
And it's because there is no clear-cut demarcation on how the executive, or rather the party leadership, is supposed to behave when the Parliament is articulating an issue.
The Lawmakers Forum calling for respect to the principle of separation of powers.
That's why
Speaker Muturi further urging the government to ensure Parliament is well facilitated to perform its oversight role.
This is to say that members need access to timely, accurate and concise information to undertake the oversight function particularly. I am a strong advocate of this school of thought.
Majority Leader Eden Duale and his minority counterpart John Mbadi pulling in different directions to defend their party's position in Parliament.
they are constantly misusing their so-called tyranny of numbers. May I remind you that even with your numbers, the responsibility on you is higher, and when it comes to law making, the old adage that you should make a law that you can trust with your enemy.
The minority will always have their say, and the majority will have their way. But when you have your say, and then you start throwing bottles, you start throwing water to the speaker, then Mr. Speaker, that is not Parliament, that is something else.
We may not, as minority, have the tyranny of numbers, but we have the tyranny of brains. And we are passionate, which we shall effectively use to check the majority party excesses.
The leader spoke in the wake of concerns by a section of Jubilee MPs that their party had gagged them against expressing themselves on some issues, and a crackdown on Jubilee rebels that saw 4 of them stripped from committee leadership positions. Members of the National Assembly are now raising concerns over the duplication of legislative and oversight roles by their sister house, the Senate, and wants that to be addressed in this 12th Parliament before setting a misleading precedent. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV, Mombasa County.
Thank you so much, Stephen Leto, for that update. We'll be talking to him a bit later on to get more updates about day 2 of that seminar. But now, let's take you to West Pokot County, where Collins Shitiabai is on standby, talking to education experts about how pastoralists will be handling the new education curriculum in terms of the transition. Collins, good morning. Tell us a little bit about the transition there in terms of the move to the new education curriculum.
Good morning, Waiga Maura. Today I'll be speaking with educationists in West Pokot County about the new curriculum. Considering the fact that West Pokot County is on the far end, or most of the schools in West Pokot County are in remote areas, so that coping up with the new curriculum may affect or may have challenges getting the new curriculum. Also, most of the schools here in West Pokot County, private schools, are complaining that now that the government is buying textbook to public primary schools and secondary schools, they are getting some more challenges because they need to increase school fees so that they can get a textbook for the pupils who are learning in the private schools. Talking to me is one of the educationists in West Pokot County, Mr. Wilbert Muhwana, who will be explaining further how do they need for this curriculum to take off peacefully.
My name is Wilbert Muhwana, the director of Makutano Central Academy in West Pokot County. Our school is one of the few schools which started some 11 years ago, and it's one of the schools that are performing very well in this county. Despite the fact that these new changes are coming, we have welcomed the new curriculum, and we have sent even the teachers for training so that they can actually move with the changes. Many teachers have been trained for that, especially in our school, and they are ready for it. Although we have some challenges here and there, especially when it comes to materials like textbooks. So far, we are using just some outlines we try to get from anywhere. Even if we are trying to get this from any other source, we expect the Ministry of Education will come up to cover all schools, and especially private schools, which are excluded when it comes to supplying the first batch of the books that they send out. Private schools were excluded, and especially in this county, some of the schools are remote, although we are privileged to be in urban area. So far, we have not received any materials in the form of books, but we are ready to make sure that all the recommended books are bought, because the parents are very cooperative, and in fact they are set to make sure that the new curriculum is working for the betterment of our children.
Okay, maybe to inform you, Waiga, most of the schools here in West Pokot County has not yet received books from the government, thus being one of the major challenges or major hindrance to education sector in West Pokot County. From West Pokot County, I don't have much to say. Back to you, Waiga.
You don't have much to say. You've already said a lot. Thank you for giving us that update from West Pokot. That's our correspondent there, Collins Shitiabai. In other news now, counties have been urged to adopt alternative dispute resolution mechanisms instead of spending billions of shillings in litigations over disputes. Devolution CS Eugene Wamalwa says the costs incurred in litigation would otherwise be used in developing counties. The CS was accompanied by his new Principal Secretary Nelson Marwa, spoke during a validation workshop on alternative dispute resolution regulations in Mombasa.
However, we will have to proceed.
Now, after snubbing the committee for 2 times, or on 2 occasions, ICT CS Joe Musheru is set to face the ICT Committee of Senate this morning over the January 30th shutdown of TV stations. Musheru skipped the sessions with the committee twice due to work engagements. He, at that time, said he would be available from the 26th of February. The Senate committee decided to give him one last chance to appear today. after some of the senators demanded that summons be issued to the cabinet secretary. The committee is investigating the controversial switch-off of 4 TV stations during the swearing-in of NASA leader Raila Odinga. Well, you're watching Citizen Extra. Time now for a quick break. Stay with us. When we return, as I mentioned earlier, Citizen Extra kicks off its special countdown to the World International Women's Day, set for Thursday, the 8th of March, basically the day after tomorrow. Over the next 3 days, we'll be talking about the rights of women in different sectors and the opportunities and challenges that they experience. Today, we'll be focusing on the corporate arena, and shortly I'll be hosting the Managing Director of Kenya Breweries Limited, Jane Karuku, and we'll be focusing and we'll be talking about opportunities and challenges when it comes to the rights of women in business. So we'll be talking about that on the other side of the break. Before we take the break, however, let's bring in Martin Munene now. He informs us that there has been a briefing by a multi-agency task force regarding illicit and second generation liquor, rather. Martin, tell us about this briefing.
A very good morning to you, Wahiga Maura, and like you've rightly put it, just moments ago we have received a briefing from the county commissioner and other officers drawn from various agencies, and what is happening here is that they're going to conduct a major operation starting now across the county to crack down on second generation and illicit liquor across the county. Just to give us a brief insight into what exactly they plan to do, let me just speak to the county commissioner, and he's going to just briefly, Wahiga, just give us an insight into why they're doing this and exactly what they intend to do. Kindly, sir. So just briefly, just introduce yourself, sir, and tell us what exactly you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah, my name is Frederick Shisia, the County Commissioner Nyeri. I'm joining the multi-agency team from the national office, which is visiting the county to crack down on illicit drinks and second-generation counterfeit drinks that are on the shelves, which we believe are affecting the health of the consumers, and therefore we are going to visit the depots, the stockists, and also the bar owners, just to confirm whether what is displayed on the shelves is genuine or is counterfeit. Because we are concerned about the health of the consumers and the effect it's having on the general socio-economic development of this county and other areas of Kenya.
All right, and what agencies are here besides the administration? What other agents are here?
In this multi-agency team, we have the Ministry of Interior, we have the Kenya Bureau of Standards, we have the Kenya Revenue Authority, we have the National Agency NACADA, we have the Counterfeit Agency, we also have NEMA, and we are also going to involve the county governments because they are the ones who license these outlets on the ground.
All right. There was a similar move in 2015 where people we saw the government enforcing laws to ensure that this actually stops illicit liquor. Has it made a comeback, and was it successful, and is this going to be successful?
This is the second phase. The first phase was very successful. This is the second phase, and you realize we had a very prolonged electioneering period last year, and during this period we observed certain lapses, and we are just going to arrest those lapses and ensure that we kickstart the exercise so that we gain the momentum that we had already realized during the first phase.
Thank you very much, sir. Wahiga, like you've heard from the county commissioner, that they're going to actually start right now moving across the county to ensure that if they find any business people or any people with what they call illicit liquor or second generation liquor, they're going to take action. And he says that the first phase in 2015 was a success, but like he said that between then and now, he says that due to one factor, the election period, then there has been a few lapses here and there. And like you've heard from different places, the second generation liquor has made a comeback. And now what they're trying to do is ensure that this comes to an end. Wahiga, we will be following up with them to see what the ground is like, even as they go to conduct the operation. Back to you in studio, Wahiga.
We do wish them all the best in that fight against illicit brew. Thank you, Martin, for that update. And on that note, we take a quick break. You are watching Citizen Extra. Stay with us.